Welcome to our YouTube channel. This is where you will discover interesting and sometimes strange things about time travel. In this series of videos, we will take you on a journey through history and the future, not to recapture the glorious moments, but to witness the worst times you will ever experience. May fall in. From terrible natural disasters, devastating wars, to economic crises and epidemics, join us to find out why there are times when you definitely don't want to set foot in if you have the chance. Time Travel Club. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any interesting videos. Imagine that a mad scientist created a time machine and forced you to choose a random time period to travel to. Among countless possible choices, you will definitely encounter an unfortunate outcome. However, no matter what you do, never choose to travel back 150 million years ago. This is an era where death lurks everywhere, with giant dinosaurs dominating the land. Even by dinosaur standards, the creatures that existed during this period were extremely terrifying. Some paleontologists consider this the golden age of super predators, with fresh water and meat being their preferred food sources. Even if it was possible to make the dinosaurs disappear in an instant, the period 150 million years ago was still full of other dangers on land, in the ocean and in the sky, containing many unknown secrets. Life-friendly. Welcome to the late Jurassic. Geographically, this period even rendered maps useless because the Earth's landmass was completely different from what it is today. North America is probably the only landmass that still retains a similar shape today, while the southern hemisphere combines into a large mass called the Gondwana supercontinent, including South America, the Arabian Peninsula, and India. Antarctica and Australia formed the largest continent of the late Jurassic period, covering nearly 1/6 of the Earth's surface. Gondwana isn't the strangest land either. That title belongs to Laurasia, another giant continent that includes Europe, Greenland, and parts of Asia. The rest of the Earth was divided by vast oceans, leaving the land masses we know today as small islands. Europe at that time was more like a remote island paradise than the landlocked land it is now, and China was right next to Iran and Turkey, very far from India. In terms of oceanography, the Jurassic period had two main water masses, the Pacific Ocean and the Tethys Ocean. Tethys has existed for more than 100 million years, covering the eastern hemisphere and experiencing significant tectonic activity, leading to rising sea levels and submerging much of Laurasia. Meanwhile, the younger but still 50 million years old Pacific Ocean dominates the Western Hemisphere and will continue to expand over time. The birth of the Atlantic Ocean. The appearance of a new body of water, the Atlantic Ocean, completely changed the geographical landscape of that time. Although it was more like a sea at the time, the Atlantic Ocean was almost completely surrounded by land. The temperature of the Atlantic Ocean then was also very different from today. The temperature was much warmer. Globally, ocean water has an average temperature of 32.1 degrees Celsius, equivalent to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, about 25% higher than today. Even in the deepest parts of the Pacific Ocean, temperatures remained remarkably warm, around 17 degrees Celsius or 63 degrees Fahrenheit, similar to warm tap water today. This increase in temperature is commonly seen in other oceans. The largest volcano of all time, strong tectonic activity at that time, led to volcanic activity, releasing large amounts of CO2 into the country. Currently, paleontologists have identified several giant extinct volcanoes, including Tamu Massif, considered the world's largest volcano. This giant volcano is located about 1,600 kilometers east of Japan, has a seafloor area larger than the state of California, and is nearly twice as high as Mount St. Helens when it was still in operation. Tamu Massif has made the ocean more acidic and heated the atmosphere, leading to warmer conditions on land. Climate and biology 150 million years ago was probably the warmest period in the entire Jurassic period, with average daily temperatures of about 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly 15% warmer than today. Earth during this period experienced climatic conditions it had not encountered in nearly 50 million years, with both the northern and southern hemispheres seeing significant amounts of drying. The biome includes deserts and savannas, making it difficult for animals, especially during the harsh dry season near the equator. Here, dry ecosystems gave way to the expansion of tropical forests that covered much of North Africa. The most degraded conditions were not here but in the polar regions, when they were not cold tundra but temperate biomes similar to present-day Central Europe. The polar regions are much warmer, so there are no ice sheets or glaciers, creating favorable conditions for life to develop. The Golden Age of Dinosaurs. During this period, dinosaurs grew stronger and more diverse than ever. All groups of dinosaurs, including theropods, sauropods, and armored dinosaurs, existed and evolved diversely. Rich ecosystems, such as the Morrison Formation in North America, include arid steppes, forests, and swamps. This is home to more than 40 species of dinosaurs, including at least 10 theropods, most of which were large enough to hunt animals the size of humans. Dinosaurs are most likely to eat you. Unlike the Cretaceous period, where Tyrannosaurus rex dominated during the Morrison period, the most dominant carnivorous dinosaur was Allosaurus. Often dubbed the Jurassic King of Predators thanks to its striking appearance and razor-sharp teeth, Allosaurus was a nearly unstoppable predator. It has a bite that causes severe bleeding, allowing it to hunt many herbivores. Research shows that Allosaurus could hunt in herds, but whether hunting alone or in groups, it still dominated with 75% of all predators at the time. Overall, you might think it was a small creature, but no, Allosaurus was a giant predator. An adult Allosaurus weighed an average of 7 tons and was 5 meters, 28 feet long, making it the largest land carnivore on Earth at the time. Other giant carnivores. However, Allosaurus was not the largest carnivore on land. This title belongs to Saurophaganax, another member of the Allosauridae family living in North America. Saurophaganax can weigh up to 5 tons, equivalent to nearly 4 adult giraffes. Morphologically, it was similar to Allosaurus, with strong arms, sharp claws, serrated teeth, and a distinctive crest, but differed in vertebrae shape and body size. Besides Allosaurus and Saurophaganax, Morrison is also home to many other giant carnivores such as Ceratosaurus, Torvosaurus, and Marshiosaurus. These species were also larger, with Torvosaurus weighing about 4 tons and Marshiosaurus possibly weighing as much as Saurophaganax. Smaller predators. In contrast, Ceratosaurus, although ferocious, was a small step up from the giant predators mentioned. An adult Ceratosaurus was roughly the size of a polar bear, so it's clearly not small at all. Despite this, many people still consider Ceratosaurus an underdog during the Jurassic period, not realizing that its agility and deadly bite made it a very successful predator. Huge size is the exception rather than the rule, as most Morrison carnivores were on average the size of Ceratosaurus or smaller. For example, Troodon and its early relatives of the Tyrannosaur were the majority of these small carnivores, which rarely stood taller than a human's waist. How do so many predators live together? The existence of many different predators in the same ecosystem may make you wonder how they do not compete and destroy each other. The answer is ecological distribution rather than direct competition. These predators occupied different ecological niches, exemplified by Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus. Ceratosaurus is often found near bodies of water, while Allosaurus prefers open spaces on the ground. This helps maintain peace in an environment with many predatory dinosaurs. Small herbivorous dinosaur. Small herbivores mainly included many Neornithischian species, with more than 5 species known from 150 million years ago. Among them, Dryosaurus, about the size of a puma, and Camptosaurus, weighing about half a ton, are the most common. Despite the difference in size, both species have similar diets consisting of shrubs and ground plants, and both species lack defenses. Their only strategy is to run away quickly when faced with danger. Stegosaurus dinosaur. However, not all herbivores are susceptible to attack. Some species have developed significant defenses like Stegosaurus. This species was the largest of the non-Saurischia dinosaurs, with adults measuring up to 9 meters, 30 feet long and weighing 5 tons. It had a tail with large bony spikes called thagomizers, which formed a powerful weapon that could pierce bones and strike at predators, as seen in the fossil of an unlucky Allosaurus. Evolution of Ankylosaurus. Stegosaurus was not the only herbivore capable of effective self-defense. A new species appears, Mimura pelta, one of the oldest known ankylosaurus species. Mimura pelta was significantly smaller than its later relatives, adults weighing only 562 kilograms, 1,239 pounds, but had characteristic heavy armor. This species is famous for its bony scales spread across the upper body, sometimes with sharp edges protecting vulnerable spots. Despite its protective armor, many of Mimura pelta's fossils still bear traces of theropod bites, suggesting that even the best defenses do not always ensure survival. Other armored dinosaurs, such as Gargoylosaurus and Stegosaurus alcovensis, also existed during this period, creating a group of herbivores with considerable self-defense capabilities. Giant sauropods are everywhere. You might be bored hearing about these giant dinosaurs, but it really needs to be emphasized that this was one of their golden ages. Sauropod dinosaurs are the most common, and about 150 million years ago may have been the peak of this group. They were often the most dominant of the dinosaurs, with Camarasaurus holding the title of being the most numerous in the Western Hemisphere. However, it is not a single species, but a combination of many different sauropod families, with the two main groups being Diplodocidae and Macronaria. Iconic members of these families include Brachiosaurus, Supersaurus, Diplodocus, Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus, and Marapunisaurus. A notable name that, despite not belonging to any particular family, is still extremely gigantic. In fact, even the smallest species weighs around 13 tons, while the largest can weigh up to 70 tons. With such a huge fauna, it is no surprise that the Morrison Formation is considered extraordinary. The Morrison Formation is nothing special. Many people have been surprised by the Morrison Formation since it was discovered, but in reality, the Morrison is not really special. Much of the world at the time had similar ecosystems, with the same dominant dinosaur groups and in some places even identical dinosaurs. For example, if you try to escape Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus, or Torvosaurus by running to Europe, you will still encounter them. On the other hand, you can experience the joy of a sauropod tour in Gondwana, where evidence of Brachiosaurus, Barosaurus, and Camarasaurus has been found, along with other unique dinosaurs. Dinosaurs in Africa and Europe still follow similar trends as Morrison's, with many species having global counterparts. For example, Tanzania has Giraffatitan, a species with a similar ecological role to Brachiosaurus. Tanzania also saw the presence of Kentrosaurus, a stegosaur closely related to the European Stegosaurus. A similar situation occurred with sauropods like Oceanoteton and stegosaurs like Dacentrurus in these lands. A completely new type of theropod Gondwana and Europe were even more unique in that they had a new type of theropod never seen in North America or anywhere else. The Ceratosaurids, characterized by tall neural spines and long arms, balanced and skull, narrow and long. One of the first and oldest to evolve was Ceratosaurus, a strange prosauropod found in China, Asia's largest predator. Not far from Europe, the Ceratosauridae group did not appear, but instead, Asia had its own unique apex predator, Yangchuanosaurus. This species was a giant theropod, nearly as long as the largest Torvosaurus and weighing up to 4 tons, making it the largest predator in Asia. From a distance, you might mistake it for an Allosaurus because the two are closely related and share many similar features. However, they are not exactly the same, as Yangchuanosaurus is not a member of the Allosauridae, but of the Metriacanthosauridae, which means moderately spiny lizard in Greek. The characteristic feature of this group is the superior median nerve spine. Chinese dinosaur. The uniqueness of Yangchuanosaurus in Asia is similar to other regions of the world, with 4 main dinosaur groups dominating and many famous species living at the time, including Mamenchisaurus, Jingshanosaurus, and Lufengosaurus, crocodile-like reptile. Not only dinosaurs, the late Jurassic fauna also included many other reptiles, most notably crocodile-like species. These creatures came in a variety of sizes and lived in a variety of environments, but were typically smaller and most similar to modern crocodiles. These species often prey on nearby fish, amphibians, and turtles, but a few are completely terrestrial and can be fearsome, such as the slender and grotesque Hesperosuchus. There's no need to worry, however, as Hesperosuchus was a tiny creature, rarely taller than a boot, and primarily hunted insects and other small prey. Our ancestors. During this same period, the ancestors of mammals also appeared and developed. They have existed for more than 100 million years and are well adapted to many different lifestyles, such as climbing trees, flying, and being semi-aquatic. Their diets are also very diverse. Some specialize in plants, while others eat meat or a combination of both. Omnivores like Castor accorda could even eat dinosaur remains. However, like other mammals, they are often small, averaging no larger than a shrew, making them difficult to notice among giant dinosaurs. Ancient pterosaurs dominate the sky. There was a group of not exactly giant but very recognizable pterosaurs that established control of the skies about 80 million years ago. These creatures hover almost unhindered. Although not an abundant species and only a few remain from that time, their fossils show success in conquering much of the Earth, especially during the late Jurassic period. They seem to prefer marine and coastal environments where rich food sources such as insects, fish, and shellfish can be found. It is hypothesized that the largest pterosaurs may have hunted some terrestrial creatures. The biggest lizard flew around one of the giant pterosaurs that lived in Europe was the Leviathan, with an estimated wingspan of 6 meters or 12 feet. With sharp teeth, this species can hunt other pterosaurs, when most other species are less than half the size. As king of the skies, Leviathan poses little threat, although it is not entirely alone. The first flight of dinosaurs. Along with bird-like species, pterosaurs also tried to fly during this period. However, only one type is known from that era, Archaeopteryx. This dinosaur is important to paleontology because of the earliest known powered flight. Although there were other candidates for the title 165 million years ago, many paleontologists still debate the classification of these species. Archaeopteryx used its ability to fly to hunt small prey, including reptiles and insects, as well as to evade predators. It was similar in size to the modern magpie, nightmare ocean predator. Not only the sky, but also the ocean is a shelter for many scary predators. While many land creatures are awe-inspiring, the oceans and seas are home to true nightmares, especially plesiosaurs. This marine reptile is distinguished by its flat body, short tail, and 4 flippers distributed globally. They vary in size, and many species have become the most fearsome predators. Giant pliosaurs dominated the seas. This group is the pliosaur family. While we often imagine plesiosaurs to have long, narrow necks, pliosaurs had short necks and huge skulls filled with sharp, conical teeth, allowing them to hunt down medium and large-sized prey. You may have heard of the most famous one, the Kronosaurus, but at this point it has actually been extinct for 5 million years. However, the late Jurassic period found an even larger and more terrifying replacement. The adult Plesiosaurus of this species was one of the largest ever recorded, with a length of up to 10 meters and a weight of 5 tons. At this size, they easily killed anything they caught, including species we consider modern oceanic sharks. This is not to say that sharks were idiots. In fact, sharks of that time were not yet a match for pliosaurs and did not reach anywhere near the same size, but they were still a problem for predators. Smaller, including fish and other species, the main components of the Mesozoic ocean. Fish lizards still exist. Although ichthyosaurs were giants for millions of years during the Triassic and early Jurassic periods, they declined in size during this period, mainly due to competition with pliosaurs. However, this battle was certainly not one-sided, because the vast seas and oceans were still rife with different species of ichthyosaurs that filled different ecological niches and could grow up to 7 meters long, or 23 feet. It's crazy to compare with the Triassic period, when ichthyosaurs were sometimes almost 4 times larger, making them truly terrifying, giving potential time travelers one more reason to away from Earth 150 million years ago. The stories of dinosaur survival on land and in the water are truly a magical part of the natural world. If you want to discover more about the ancient world and the magical creatures that once existed on Earth, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will discover interesting videos about the world of dinosaurs, the latest research on ancient biology, and impressive images of dinosaurs. Experience the wonders of the natural world through our YouTube channel. Hello, and see you in the next video.